Rules, Ivan Toney is expected to captain Brentford this afternoon when they play Nottingham Forest. It's been a traumatic period for one of England's top strikers.
Toney looking to create havoc, and he wins his side a penalty.
Here's Toney! Oh my word! Toney finishes quite beautifully. Oh, that is gorgeous!
Stunning from Ivan Toney.
Goalkeeper's way out! Hat-trick!
Ivan Toney does it again.
Ivan Toney has been banned from football for 8 months. No professional footballer can place a bet on a match they're involved in.
Brentford striker Ivan Toney has said he feels free following the end of his 8-month ban.
He's bossing. He's like an 8-year-old boy. Just want to go out and play.
If he plays well, then we'll pick him.
The king is back. The king's already here. See you soon.
Okay, before we get into the football element of this story, it is important to acknowledge the serious breaches in betting rules that Toney was found guilty of. In fact, he pleaded guilty to 232 charges, but he was also diagnosed with a betting addiction. Nadine, do you think football has a serious problem, a silent problem, actually, that isn't really being addressed as it should be with this sort of addiction?
I think so, but I think it goes beyond football as well. I think in society we tend to see that a lot, and I think people who do become addicted, they don't really want to share the issues that they have, because for them, they almost feel shame by it. They want to just be able to get out on the other side of it. And I think for Ivan, 232 charges, obviously a lot, and he has his own side of that. But within football that I saw anyway, people do like to gamble. It's not necessarily always going to be on football because people know it's against the rules as such. But it's just that thing of getting started. The moment you started means that it's a greater chance of becoming addicted, because we see so many people fall by the wayside because of that.
Yeah.
But I think it can be a concern, but then there are also plenty of people who can do it responsibly, who don't necessarily need the help. But I think it's something that definitely needs to be spoken about more.
So do you think then, because in the first part of this ban, Ivan wasn't allowed to train with the team, so does it all come down to the support that you get as a player? Not actually even as a player, because it's the person in that instance.
Yeah, well, it strikes me as we all played football before, and it's like, what happens when you have a problem with addiction? You ban him from the football club, you ban him from training, you actually give him more time on his hands.
Yeah.
So I hope he has got the right support, and I'm sure Brentford, it strikes me as a club, he's got the right backing behind him. Obviously the manager speaks highly in the press conference in the last couple of days, but he needs to have that right support, because the last thing Ivan Toney would have needed at them first 3 or 4 months when he wasn't allowed to train or whatever was time on his own, because you know what happens then, you think, what can I do now? You go on your phone, because it's so easy to put bets on. But I do hope he's been reformed. I'm excited about today, back in the Premier League. It's nearly like we talk about £100 million, maybe they're talking about a transfer fee, but it's like Brentford signing a £100 million striker.
Yeah.
Today they come into the team, the manager is going to be captain, he's going to be the leader of the team, and he brings a positivity to the group. He's brilliant to be around everyone. I'd imagine he's so excited for the game.
Yeah, I think Thomas Frank said it's like that 8-year-old kid that's going out to play his first game today, that energy and his excitement. But I suppose when you look at the team at the moment, they have struggled to replace his goals and what he brings, so it's going to be huge for him to come back into that side.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I would say, though, is at the start of the season, Ishore and Mbemo and Inwissa, they had a good strike partnership there. And Mopai was chipping in as well, and at times it felt like they were being quite progressive. And even though they were missing the main man, they looked like they were okay. But some of those goals have gone away, whether it's through Mbemo's injury or Wissa being out of form. So now it's crying out for him to come back. You know what I mean? And we can see that when he comes back, he's got that energy, he's got that desire to be back with the side. And unlike, say, like a Kevin De Bruyne, who last week was coming back from injury, who has been held back as such, like with Ivan, he's probably been fit and ready to go for that whole time. He's desperate to get out there. He's desperate to make a difference for his team. And also, these strikers, they just want to score goals, don't they? So I'm sure he's itching to do that as well.
Do you think, well, like you said, Shay, the confidence from the other players, knowing that you do have a player like that coming back into a team at the moment that are crying out for goals?
And you imagine the Brentford fans today as well. Like they've had to sort of sit in their hands for the last 6 months because their main man, their main striker, their star player, let's be honest, has been banned. So you'd imagine the excitement around the stadium and his first touch or whatever, and I'm sure he'll just be desperate to do well, first and foremost for Brentford, get on the score sheet, and I think football in general has missed him. You look at the strikers last year, he's probably top 3 with Haaland, Kane and Ivan Toney. That's That's how big a player he is, and to have him back, I think is great.
Yeah, you mentioned the Brentford fans there. Like, I love the fact when players are full of confidence and they speak about their ambitions and what they want to go on to achieve. Ivan Toney has been that person saying he wants to achieve everything that he can in the game. But you think at the moment, the support that the club have given him, that's his focus, should be his focus at the moment.
Isn't he just staying at Brentford, you mean?
Yes.
Well, that's where he is right now, you know, and he's coming out there, walking out as a captain, leading the side out with the support that he's had. And I'm sure if he does have ambitions of leading, he's probably addressed those with Thomas Frank. He's probably, people within the club probably know what he wants to achieve. But to do that, he still needs to be playing and playing well. And today could be the...
I think so as well, Liam, a bit of loyalty perhaps. You know, we're in the January transfer window, of course we are, but I think to come back today and then play the rest of the season, you know, get Brentford away from the trouble. You see them, you know, they're getting close to the, you know, the danger zone as well. So I think the best way to repay that would be goals. You know, get them up the league, and then maybe in the summer might be a different story.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see him back today.